We're going to be going over the list of games coming to Game Pass this month, along with Netflix acquiring a new studio and talking about PlayStation Plus losing some subscribers. All of that's covered in today's cloud gaming news, so let's dive right in and get to it. To kick things off, we're going to be talking about Xbox Game Pass because the new November lineup has officially been announced and it's looking really promising. It's a healthy mix of day one releases and highly regarded games. Dropping this month on cloud, console, and PC, you can expect Return to Monkey Island, Football Manager 2023, Ghost Song, Pentiment, The Legend of Tian Ding. On console, you can look forward to Vampire Survivors. On console and PC, you have Somerville, and just on PC, you have The Walking Dead: A New Frontier and The Walking Dead: Michonne. All in all, you have a very diverse lineup of games that are sure to appeal to a broad audience. Now in particular, I do want to highlight Pentiment because it is a first-party studio from Xbox Game Studios. It's coming from Obsidian. If you know their DNA, you're going to have a lot of choices to make in this one, and you're going to definitely see the impacts of those choices happen within the game's world. It definitely has a unique art style, and while it does seem like a smaller game in scale, it certainly seems to have a lot going for it. Now, as per usual, this is just drop one. There are more games coming later this month, and I'll be sure to cover them as soon as they get announced. But we do know of two games that are coming this month that haven't been a part of this list, and that's Gungrave Gore and Warhammer 40k Darktide. Though it is important to point out that the console version of Darktide was delayed, only the PC version will be launching this month. But with that news out of the way, let's talk about Netflix acquiring a brand new studio. Now normally I wouldn't cover this sort of thing here, but their recent interest in cloud gaming has definitely piqued my interest and I want to keep a close eye on them. Regardless, they've officially acquired Cozy Grove developer Spry Fox. Now if you haven't heard of Cozy Grove before, it's actually a very interesting indie title that's been fairly successful. It actually goes synced with real world time, so it provides you 30 to 60 minutes of new quest content each day. Past that, you can continue to play and explore the world, but most of the progression will be locked out due to the time. Honestly speaking, a very novel concept and one that's actually been well received. It's got very positive reviews over on Steam with over 4,700 reviews. If you ask me, a very solid pickup for Netflix for the type of games they appear to be focusing on the here and now. Spry Fox themselves had the following to share about the acquisition. We can continue making the games that we were already making and wanted to make, but with more support and resources to make those games better and bring them to more people around the world. We can stop stressing about how our games generate profit on our games and instead focus exclusively on making them as enjoyable and fulfilling to our players as possible. We can collaborate with other creative people within Netflix to hopefully get better at what we do and how we do it. What does this mean for our existing games? They'll remain downloadable and available in their current form on their current platforms. What about development efforts on new games? Everyone at Spry Fox was already focused on making Cozy Grove 2 as well as a larger non-violent MMO that we still haven't revealed much about publicly. And that is still the case, so there's no change in our current development efforts. It appears both Spry Fox and Netflix are very happy to make this acquisition happen. And I will admit that while Cozy Grove 2 isn't too much of a surprise, I am very interested to hear about their non-violent MMO and how that fits into Netflix's plan. Massively multiplayer online titles aren't necessarily the easiest games to launch, but I do trust Spry Fox to make their take on an MMO fairly unique. I wouldn't be too surprised if this isn't the last we hear about an acquisition from Netflix either. But now let's move on to the last news story of the day, and it has to do with PlayStation Plus losing subscribers. Now I do want to shine a bit of a spotlight on this topic because there's quite a lot more to the story than just the loss of subscribers, but to catch you all up, basically PlayStation Plus has lost 1.9 million subscribers since its relaunch. And while that alone sounds really bad, it needs to be pointed out that despite that, Sony has just had its best quarter ever for subscription revenue. The PlayStation Plus segment is actually up 21% year over year. And that was their main goal with the PlayStation Plus revamp. It's about increasing average revenue per user rather than increasing subscribers significantly. And that's because PlayStation Plus itself has kind of hit a ceiling. For years now, it's sat around 45 to 48 million subscribers. And that implies that a pretty sizable chunk of users actually upgraded to the new tiers for PlayStation Plus. That's how they're offsetting the loss of subscribers and recording record profits. Now, whether or not Sony is satisfied with the amount of money they made, we don't really know. That being said, it does seem like things are going pretty well in their camp. Bloomberg Technology just reported that Sony shares have had their biggest intraday rise since 2017 after the company said the PlayStation 5 production went better than expected. And they've even increased their target for the next fiscal year, which seems to point out that they think things are going fairly well. Now, they did say that the loss of subscribers are mainly coming from the PlayStation 4 user base, which does beg the question of where they went. One could simply assume that they may have switched to Xbox or any other console or PC. But my personal guess is that more people are just starting to not game as much. After all, we saw record numbers due to the whole lockdown situation, and most places are no longer in lockdown. People are going out and spending less time indoors. Combine that with the fact that money's kinda getting tight, these sorts of subscriptions are gonna be some of the first things to go. After all, we're looking at pretty big downtrends overall in the tech industry, not just video games. Either way, that ends this Cloud Gaming News Day. If you enjoyed the video or found it helpful at all, be sure to hit that like button as it really does help the channel out, and if you're wanting more content like this, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell as well. Anyways, thank you for watching, I hope you have a great day. This has been the Virtual Cloud, giving you the latest and greatest on everything cloud gaming related, and until next time, I'll catch you in the clouds.